Hey Facebook Live, what's going on? Excuse me here as I adjust my camera here on a little early today. I decided earlier that I want to be more consistent with the lives, and so I want to do a live every Friday morning. I know we're at the end of the week, and I think the end of the week is a good time for reflection. I believe most people, and I guess we get programmed into the habit of, at the end of the week, we're just thinking about the weekend. And what can we do at the weekend? But that's still more mind junction going on, a lot of still thinking, instead of sitting back and kind of reflecting at the end of the week to say, okay, how did my week go? How's everything kind of rolling for me this week? And so I like to go on Friday mornings to do a little bit of reflection and some thought-provoking things that you could take to your weekend and hopefully move on to your following week. Now, the topic today that I want to talk about is, I would say probably most people read the caption and think it's kind of funny. They say, how to get what you truly want out of life now. Not later, but right now. And before I go into that, I just want to give a shout out to Jasmine Zayas. Kyle Ripken. Simpkins. Kyle Red, man. This guy can spit. You guys got to check him out. Patrice, how we doing? Daniel, what's going on, brother? I missed you at Thanksgiving. Cool. So, I want to show off this book. This is called Conversations with God from Neil Donald Walsh. If you've never read it, I would advise to read it. Actually, this is a gift. Jasmine and I wanted to give it to Jazz's mother. She's never read it, so we love this book. So we really wanted her to start reading it and get to know it because we feel that it made some big changes in our lives. Even if you're not religious, to me, this is not really a religious book, but to each his own, of course. But it's a great conversation. It's basically an interview with God, and it's amazing. Now, I think we live in a world where we want things now. We want everything to happen right now. And how do we get things now? How do we make those changes, Rich? How do we make the shift? How do we make that full-on jump and quantum leap into the life, into the desires that we truly want? And through my experience, I realized that everything happens in an instant, but the results from it take time, if that makes sense. And how you get what you want now is actually a very simple concept. Hey, Shraddha, Stand for Success partner. She's awesome. If you've never read her book, check out her book. Check out her Facebook. She actually reads the book to people, and it's amazing. Beautiful voice, a beautiful speaker, a beautiful person. To get what you want out of life at any point in time is to give it. Now, I know that sounds a little counterintuitive, but if you understand how nature works, and we're a part of nature, I think in Eastern culture, in Buddhism, the greatest illusion is that people think they're separate from everything else. And we're the only species or creature that can think that way anyway, but actually think that way. With most animal in nature, go with the flow of nature and understand that they're a part of it and they just roll with their instincts. Humans are the only ones that have the choice not to. But when I say the only way to get it is to give it, is true. Now, let's take breath, for example. And I was listening to some Alan Watts this morning. He's very inspirational. Your breath is life. In Eastern culture, they call it the Brahman, which is another term for breath. Is what they call life and what they call the higher power. It's called Brahman. And in Brahman, it's your life source. And your life source is to give and to take. When you first breathe air into your lungs, you can't keep that air. If you keep the air, you die. And if you exhale the air completely without breathing back in, you die. So we're in an always constant exchange with nature. We breathe in oxygen and we give the trees back carbon dioxide. And in return, the trees give us oxygen, and it's a cycle. And most people, a lot of people I meet, are terrible givers or terrible receivers. And that's where the junction comes from. That's where the gunk in the system comes from. Because again, if you breathe in the air and you say, I just want to take, yes, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, and you never give it back out, you lose the life that you're trying to hold on to. Now, if you just accept, because I know people that are great givers, but they're not great receivers. Again, if you just exhale, you die. So the point is, you have to give what you want. Now, for example, some people say, hey, Rich, you know what? I want more money. How do I receive more income? How do I receive more abundance? You give it. Give it to yourself. They say the number one rule of all wealthy people is they pay themselves first. Before they pay their bills, before they pay their mortgage, before they pay their car, before they pay the restaurant, before they pay the retail clothing company, before they pay anyone else, they pay themselves first. Why? Because why in the world would anyone want to pay you when you don't pay you? Why would anyone want to help you when you're not willing to help them? See, I look at the law of compensation. That's what Napoleon Hill calls it, the law of compensation. But I call it the law of give and take, the law of reaping and sowing, the law of demand and So it is an equation. It's a law. So whatever you give out, you will receive. And it's natural in nature. So you think about water. Think about the ocean. When the sun beams on down on the ocean, instantly evaporation happens. But it's so minuscule and minute that you can't see it. But something's taking place. As soon as the sun hits the water, an action, energy, life is taking place. The sun is giving energy. In return, the water is giving back that energy. Everything has to return from the place that it came. So the sun comes down and gives the energy. The water, in return, evaporates and rises towards the sun. Then it comes to rain, precipitation that falls back down to the earth. See, everything has cycles. Everything goes out and returns exactly to the place that it was given from. I read the book called How to Win Friends. Oh, not How to Win Friends. The Game of Life and How to Play It from, hey, Cody, my man. Jermaine, my man. What's going on, brother? Walter, what's going on? It's called The Game of Life and How to Play from Florence Scavell Shin. And she says life is a game of boomerangs. Whatever you give out, you shall receive. Whatever you put into the universe, you shall get. And most people try to maneuver the effects, right? Meaning, in analogy, they try to adjust themselves in the mirror by touching the mirror. But the mirror is only a reflection of what you're giving out. So if you look ragged in the mirror, it's because you're ragged. Or you're just looking ragged. So you have to adjust yourself to adjust the reflection on the mirror. Meaning, if you want anything to come in your life, say I want a good mate. I want a good mate. I want a person that loves me. You got to love yourself. First and foremost. Rich, I get that. But, I want a man that's strong and has great potential. Then you got to be strong with yourself and have great potential. And stop settling for things that are not for you. Eddie Murphy, boomerang. You're funny, Cody. I can't not try to laugh. It's funny. So when you're giving out anything, we have to remember that it's the cause that causes an effect. But we're so focused on the effect. Rich, I have bad luck. Rich, things are not going well. Rich, I'm not producing at the way I'm supposed to. Then you have to give. And when say you're feeling sick, make somebody else feel healthy. Les Brown said something the other day on a Facebook Live. He says he feels good. People say, Lois, you got to slow down. You're sick. You're getting old. You got to slow down. He says, no, I have to speed up. This gives me my energy. And when I give out to people, it gives me life. It gives me energy. And you can't spray a bunch of people with all this positivity and not let some fall on yourself. Oof. You can't give away all this positivity and not let some fall on yourself. You see what I mean? When you're giving, you're literally giving to yourself. You know, if you read the book Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, I'm not making money off this. Is just what my value I want to give to you because it's a great book. And it's free on the YouTube. Free on the YouTube. And he says, Rich, there's only one of us in the room. Oh. If you could get that concept, it's very deep. It's very if you get the concept, it will change your life and it'll change the way you view things. Whatever you're giving to anyone, to anything, it doesn't matter. Energy, talk, gossip, judgment, hatred, bias, anything you're giving out, it has to return back to the source it was given to. It has to. It's law. It's nature. I didn't write the book. I just studied it and understand it. My life started to change when I started giving out what I wanted to receive. I wanted a loving relationship. I started loving myself. I started loving other people. I started respecting women. I remember in my young age, I didn't respect them. I was vile. I did things that I'm not proud of. But when I understood that, Rich, if you want love from somebody, real love, you got to give that love. You got to give that love. And when I started giving that love to myself, I mean, I dated myself. I remember I spent 6 months. I take myself to the movies. I pour a glass of wine. I'm watching on the couch, chilling, spending time with myself because I had to get to know me. If I can't get to know me, why do I expect anyone to stop and want to get to know me? When I started respecting women and loving women, I found women in the love of my life started to love me because I loved myself. Whatever you give out, you shall receive. So if you wanted your life to change now, not later, now, give whatever you want. Give whatever you want first. It shall return back to the source that it needs to. You want more smiles? Give smiles. You want more happiness? Give happiness. You want more joy? Give joy. You want more laughter? Give laughter. Share something with someone. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be material. It could be knowledge. It could be joy. It could be positivity. It could be a prayer. It could be whatever you want. But whatever you give, you shall give back. So when I give knowledge, I love giving knowledge because I receive tons of it. And I'm grateful. The books that come to my life, the knowledge that come to my life, the teachers, the mentors that come into my life, I'm so grateful for. So I have to share it. And as I share it, more people, more knowledge comes to me. It's a cycle of life. So today, give something that you want. Whatever it is, whatever in 2018 you say, hey, Rich, I want this. I want this very thing. Then give it. Give that very thing that you want, and it shall come into your life. But remember, there's a gestation period. As I told the story about the water leaving for evaporation and coming back down as rain, there's time gap, right? See, we want instant gratification now. Rich, I don't see it, though. But Rich, I gave, but the person didn't give it back to me. Relax. Take it easy. Breathe. And realize it's going to come. And one last thing that I want to really drive home with you is the reason the good book says it's better to give than receive, because that starts the receiving process. Whoa. Oof. That starts the receiving process. If deep meditators know, I mean, I'm not trying to convert people to meditation. I know I talk about it a lot, but this is just me. Understand, in the exhale of the air, when they make you breathe longer. Let's say that they exhale longer. So when you exhale longer. Why? Because automatically, naturally, you want to breathe in more air. Oof. The more air you exhale out, you do this for yourself. Just for 10 seconds, exhale. Automatically, naturally, without you thinking about it. You'll gasp for more air. And you have a deeper breath. Because the giving causes the receiving. The tree's already giving it to you. So automatically it knows it's getting its carbon dioxide. The giving is the part that starts the process. So today, if you could do me one favor. I know some you may not know me personally and some may know me personally, but regardless, if you could do me one favor, and if you catch this randomly on somebody's feed, if you could do me one favor, give something that you want today. You want advice. If you're going through some problems, hey, Rich, I just need some good advice from somebody. Give good advice to somebody. Rich, I want to lose some weight. Don't think about losing. Let's get that out of our brain. Let's say I want to be more healthy. Okay, cool. Help somebody else be healthier. Go to the gym, give them some training advice. Or give yourself the health. Give yourself the nutrients, the apples, the fruits, the veggies. It's all about the giving that you're giving. Because whatever you give, you shall receive back. So if you want to give negativity, if you want to blame people, you want to judge people, you want to say this person's the cause of all my problems, okay, that's fine. You could do that. But just understand that that's going to come back to you. And one last thing from Neil Donald Walsh, he said, nothing's that ever happened to me that I did not do to somebody at some point in time in my life. Whoa. Nothing that's ever happened to me that I did not give to somebody else or something else at some point in time in my life. And he believes in reincarnation, so he's talking about in spans of life. So just understand, to change anything today, give it. As you give it, it will return to you. As you give it, it will return to you. That I promise you. That's the law of nature. That's physics. If I throw something hard against the wall, it will come back to me at the same force. It's physics. It's nature. It's law. Give whatever you're trying to receive. And one last thing. This is way important. When you give it, don't put a date. Don't put a time. Don't put contingencies on your receiving. Don't say, okay, hey, I gave it. I want it back in a week. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. It just doesn't. Nature has to take its course. Nature understands what it's doing. Nature's doing everything in the benefit of you. So know that when you give without expectation, when you give without just, hey, I'm just giving, man, it'll come back to you in such a lump sum that you're like, wow, how I should have been doing this a long time ago. So you want more love, give love. You want more happiness, give happiness. You want more money, give money. To yourself, give financial advice. Give something that's going to produce energy. That's going to come back to you. This is Rich Fontaine on my Friday morning talks. I hope this gave you value. I hope there's something that you could have taken with today. Cody, that's my man. Every Wednesday, me and Cody, every Wednesday, we go head to head. Check that out, please. Every morning, and Wednesday morning at 8:30. Shameless plug. If I'm plugged in already, Destiny on Purpose, March 3rd, too. March 3rd, Destiny on Purpose. March 3rd, Destiny on Purpose. It's power and repetition. So, last thing, again, is give. And you'll change your life now. Namaste. Antonio, hey, thanks for looking, man. Appreciate it.